everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to be doing gel nails again, finally. This set I call a strawberry lime kind of vibe, kind of nails. Here is the mood board that I was using for them. The main inspiration is this gorgeous, stunning nail from Nailbayo Doi on Instagram because I wasn't over the DVOK lime syrup gel and I really like the mix of bright lime with like that silver edgy kind of vibe. I also wanted to bring in some 3D elements so we can speak through it more as we go throughout the video. And as always, it wouldn't be me if I didn't speak about nail safety, so if you're going to be doing your own DIY gel nails at home, please make sure that you don't touch uncured gel with your skin and do research into lamp compatibility, all of that stuff. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm gonna start off with replicating that nail from Nailbayo Doi that I just absolutely adore using the DVOK Lime Syrup Gel from the Cherry Blossom collection. This gel is stunning, but it's very sheer as you can see here. And I think upon reflection of making this set, I feel like Nailbayo Doi put it on a white base because even if you layer this gel up, like 3-4 coats, it doesn't get to that same kind of brightness that it has in the bottle. And yeah, I'm thinking next time I use this gel, because I'm definitely going to be using this gel again in future, I'm going to layer it on white and see if that makes it really saturated and bright, because the color itself, I'm in love with the color. It's just that I want a little more oomph to it, So anyway, I painted on one coat of the lime and then I went in with top coat and some of the nail flakes from Nailbayo, just the white ones, and kind of layered that on the edge in a triangle shape. And then I cured that, and now I'm going in with a few more coats of the lime gel to kind of build out that triangle. Basically, I wanted to create like a triangle on the edge. But again, I think because the polish is so sheer, it doesn't really give the same effect that I was hoping for it to give. Anyway, I cured that once I was kind of happy with the opacity of it, and I'm going in with the heavy metal liner gel from ICEGEL. I always forget the actual name of this gel, but it's just the perfect silver chrome paint, seriously. You can see here I'm painting it on with, I believe I am painting it on with the short liner or the needle liner brush from Cocoist. And it is so even, like it paints on so evenly but so saturated, so pigmented. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just taking my time here trying to perfect this border shape because I wanted to make it as even as possible, whilst also making sure that I didn't paint it too close to the edge where you actually wouldn't be able to see the border from like straight on. After I was happy with the border of that, I'm going to go in with the Jello Jello Embo Clear Edge Gel, my ride or die for pretty much everything 3D and fixing gems. And this diamond gem, I actually hauled this gem in my tester career haul. They put it in for free, and I also used it in my Armageddon nails, my previous set that I made, and I'm not over it. I love it, it's stunning. I love this diamond, like it's perfect size, perfect shape, and it's not too bulky, so it lays on the nail really well and really nicely as well. So after curing that in place, I'm going in with the heavy metal liner gel again to paint a very tiny cross in the center. I'm very certain this is the needle liner brush from Cocoist now that I think about it, because this diamond that I painted is tiny. I tried to take my time with this because if I was going to make any mistake with this cross in this diamond, it was game over. There was no way I was going to be able to fix that, So the cross is done, and the piece de resistance of this kind of design is going in with a dotting tool and the same liner, heavy metal liner gel, to just dot some circles around the border. I think this really pulls it together. I know that the design that I ended up doing is much more of a simple recreation from the one that Nailbayo Doi did, because I'm not at the skill yet where I can use really tiny chains and just make it look like amazing. We will get there at some point, okay? But yeah, this was kind of like where I decided to stop with my design personally. And I'm going in with my Mayo Glass top gel, which, my favorite top coat, absolutely love it. And just top coating everything, trying to make sure also that I don't flood the center of the diamond and risk making it not have that 3D border element to it. And this is what it looked like. Apologies for the out of focus. This was the last video that I actually filmed on my old camera, so we'll have way better quality going forwards. And I also want to highlight here that I did 2 versions of this border nail, as you can see here. The second one is the one that I just showed you, and the first one here is actually using the Mae Mode black nuance gel that I hauled in my previous gel haul video. And I did not like the outcome of that. That's actually the one that I made first. I decided this was not how this design was gonna work, so I ended up switching over to the heavy metal liner gel instead. But here you can see the Mae Mode black nuance gel is kind of stringy. It's smooth, like you can see me, I'm painting on here and it goes on really smoothly. It's very nice, but then when I go in with the dotting tool, it's a little too thick to be able to create smooth blobs and smooth circles. So I really tried also going in with a brush to kind of perfect it out, and it just was not working. And then, oh my goodness, when I tried adding chrome onto this, it just looked a bit patchy. It wasn't the best. And I decided at this point there was no way I was going to be able to save this, so we're just gonna rock with it, top coat it, line it, you know, all that stuff. And here you can see the comparison. The second one that I did with the liner gel, way better. And then moving on to kind of an adjacent design nail, I'm just adding one of these charms to a thumbnail. I believe this was on my right hand thumbnail. This is a charm that I got from Temu. I also showed it in my Temu haul, and it's just like a perfect statement nail, you know, when you don't want to do much effort on the design of a nail, you just throw a big chunky charm on it and job's done. And this is what this looked like. Okay, moving on to the next design, we're going to be doing a recreation of a previous technique that I tried to do, and that is the cling film ice nails. In all transparency, this is the second retry of this nail for this specific set that I tried doing, because the first time that I tried to redo this design, I used a complete wrong gel to do it. So instead of using the edge gel from Jello Jello, I believe I used the Izemi high top gel for it. No, did not work. So after painting on a pretty decent layer of the edge gel with a round brush, I'm going in with the cling film and adding a small square onto it, trying to keep it pretty straight when you place it down. And then I want to go in with my tweezers and start pulling in the edges of the cling film into it, but also making sure that you don't make it too tight, otherwise you'll have difficulty pulling it off. I'm pretty sure I cured that for 90 seconds just because it was a bit of a thicker layer, and then I pulled the cling film off. It's very satisfying to pull it off as long as you don't make it too tight when you place it down. And as you can see here, it's left a pretty nice like pitted kind of design. I'm going to go in with a chrome powder. I chose the green one after much deliberation and just adding on that chrome powder over all of the gel, you know, and it looks so pretty. Look at this, it's gorgeous. Sadly, I feel like it kind of lost its effect after I did layering on top of it. You'll see in a bit, but for now, I'm going to go in with the Izemi high top gel. This is the first time I'm using this gel, and the reason that I picked this gel is because it's really good for encapsulating, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to keep the kind of dimension that you had in the chrome powder due to the cling film effect, but at the same time I wanted to have a really smooth nail overlay. I didn't want it to actually feel jaggedy, you know. And I'm going in and painting that on with the same brush pretty much, just like a flat rounded brush. Trying to, when I place it down, I'm trying not to actually touch the nail. I'm trying to kind of hover over the nail and place the gel over the top so that I'm leaving it and letting it self-level as I'm working with it. Also making sure to make sure that the sides are even as well. I feel like that was a very confusing sentence, but I hope it made sense. Anyway, after I've done that, I'm going to go in with the syrup lime gel again, and I'm going to paint this over the top. Initially, I was going to do like an ombre from a clear edge into a colored lime, but then I decided it doesn't look that great, so I'm going to paint over all of it and just make it all lime. As you can see here, this is what I mean when I say I feel like the effect kind of got lost as I layer it, because you still see the dimension in the chrome, but it's hidden and it's there and it all kind of blends together. So I think if you were going to use maybe a deeper syrup, it could look really pretty. Like a deeper glass syrup, it could look really pretty. Or if you wanted to do like a deep colored ombre into a transparent edge French tip, I think that could look gorgeous with this technique. And I think I'm going to bear that in mind for future videos as well, because I think that could just give a really nice effect. Especially if you did like a deep blue into a clear transparent edge. Oh my gosh, chef's kiss. Anyway, we'll move back to this design. As you can see, I kind of just built up the lime syrup gel and then also added on more of these flakes. I feel like, yeah, this nail kind of ended up being a bit of an experimentation nail. It's fine. I don't hate it. I just feel like maybe if I'd chosen different colors or if I'd thought a bit more about the layering beforehand, it would have turned out better. But you know, it's all good. So after kind of building down that base to a point where I was happy with it, I went in with the Jello Jello Edge Gel again, and these single silver balls, oh my gosh, I find them very difficult to work with, but I always add them into my designs. Don't know why I do this to myself. And I kind of just laid them in a rough line and then went in with my top coat, because at this point I was like, this is enough base layering, but it's not done yet. No, we're going with Crazy Top Thick, because I thought, you know, this nail is missing 3D, okay? 3D that kind of just gets lost in the design because there's a lot going on this nail already and it all kind of blends together, but I'm adding 3D onto it. So anyway, I went in with actually this is the first time that I'm using a different brush for my 3D swirls. I'm using the Fiorte Slim liner brush. Before I always used to use the middle liner brush. This one is slimmer than the middle liner brush, so you're able to get much more detailed, smaller swirls. I love it. Chef's kiss. Going forward, I'm going to be using this brush religiously for when I want to add on 3D swirls that are not super chunky 3D swirls. Because I really find I've come on a long journey with my 3D swirls, okay? And I believe that if you load up a shorter, slimmer brush with a lot of gel, it really enables you to build quite a nice kind of ball to begin with as your like main starting point of your swirl, and then taper it off into a really nice thin edge line kind of line. And you're able to do it once you get the technique and how much pressure to apply when, you're able to make much more defined swirls rather than risking adding too much onto your brush and it kind of all forming together because there's a lot of gel there, which is what I find can be the case if you're going to be using a bit of a bigger, thicker, longer brush. So TLDR is if you want to get really defined, kind of smaller swirls, use a shorter, thinner brush. So if you've been following on screen, you'll see that I'm kind of doing another nail, which is very similar to the previous thumbnail, but I actually didn't apply the cling film and the Jello Jello Edge Gel on the whole nail because I wanted to add a smoother syrupy border and see how I could work with adding elements of the cling film technique, but also not it being the whole nail, if that makes sense. So I went in, did the same kind of thing, and then as I'm going in and ombreing, adding on my lime steps. So I went in, did the same steps for just one portion of the nail, and now I'm kind of at the coloring stage. So I painted on my lime and then I painted on my lime and then also my strawberry syrup gel, which is an It's Lit gel. That's the brand, like It's Lit is the brand. I think it's from their Vintage Aube collection. Vintage Aube, that. It's a really, really pretty syrupy gel. It just gives me like strawberry syrup vibes. You know that kind of syrup that you would have on your ice cream as a child? Like that squeezy strawberry syrup or that squeezy raspberry syrup. It's like that color. It just reminds me of childhood. I love the color. It's like I want to eat it, you know? But please don't eat your gel polish. Oh my gosh, that would be not good. So anyway, I went in with the Jello Jello Edge Gel and my silver balls again. I find that it definitely takes some work learning how to apply these silver balls. I really like these rhinestone tools for it. I think that they help me build out the kind of shape pretty evenly, and also I find that if you apply them onto a thicker viscosity, kind of like fixed gel kind of gel, then it's going to make your life a lot easier because they'll stay in place and you can really build out that smoother kind of line. And again, I'm going to be adding 3D onto it. So as you can see here, I'm kind of just waiting for the gel to pool towards the bottom and then I can pull it onto the nail and drag it out. And this is the final nail. This is what it looks like. I really like the outcome. And it's definitely giving like a juicy vibes, you know? Okay, so as you can see here, this is the It's Lit gel that I was using earlier. And it is, I don't even know the name of this bottle, number 2FF84 I think. But yeah, basically this really deep but syrupy, like you just want to eat it, kind of raspberry strawberry color. For this design, I'm going to be painting it all over the nail as one base coat. Again, it has the same glass syrup consistency as the lime syrup gel. So yeah, definitely one that you should build up, and also kind of wondering what this would look like on a white background as well, now that I think about it. Anyway, I'm going in with more of the Nailbayo flakes and adding those into the center. And then I'm going to be painting a very rough border around the edge with the syrup gel again, because the idea was that I wanted a transparent center and then a more opaque outer edge, but it still be somewhat blended, but also not blended, if that makes sense. Again, I think because this gel is so sheer, it kind of lost the effect, but we will learn for next time. So next I'm going to go in with the toy gel. This is actually the only time I used the toy gel in this set. It wasn't really, you know, like a sculpting 3D set. It was more of like a swirl 3D set. So yeah, I'm going in with the toy gel and just grabbing a blob of that. I remember the design inspiration for this was because I think I saw Yenna Nails on Instagram. In one of her shorts, she had a clear chunky star gem and she put that on the nail and then painted over it with a syrup gel, and I thought that was the most genius idea ever. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do something similar and experiment with this kind of like painting over 3D gel or a transparent kind of charm within this design. I just wanted to experiment with it. I ended up sculpting this kind of like triangle blob thing. It's not, it's a bit experimental, I will be honest. It's kind of ugly, but kind of reminds me of a Dorito. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below, please. And you can be as honest as you want to be. I do not mind. So after attaching that to the nail using the Zig Zag gel and curing it, I'm going in with the lime syrup gel and then just painting this over the top. As you can see, I actually think it worked very well. And I think if I was going to be using a bit of a more saturated syrup gel and maybe on a lighter base color, I don't know really if the green and the pink go together that well in this design. I think it would have popped a lot more and looked a lot great. Like imagine like a blue and orange mix, that would have been so pretty. I think that's what Yenna did originally in her design, and I love blue and orange. It's such a good underrated color combination. And then because I wanted to add a little bit more onto it, I am adding a charm. This is also one of the charms that I hold in my Temu haul. It's like your basic kind of star aurora charm. I tried to find a color that would match this lime color as much as possible, but the issue with, and I know that this is the most specific thing ever, is that the yellow was slightly too yellow, but then the green one was slightly too cool. So neither the yellow nor the green exactly matched the lime color, which was kind of frustrating, and I feel like to anybody else, they would not be able to pick that up. It's just to my eyes because I've been looking at these colors in this set for hours. As you can see here, I finished with that nail and then I moved on and did a very similar design on the other hand, but this one I just did 2 stars, and this star that I'm adding here matches it. It matches perfectly. It's like perfect mix of green and yellow, but the other star for some reason just was not matching as well. And part of that is just because I have looked at this set for hours. Like on average, it takes me about 4 to 5 hours to do a set, I would say. I usually split it up into 2 or 3 sessions, depends how I'm feeling, because I know and I really want to be able to do nails for a long time, and part of that, as with any art, right, is making sure that you're taking breaks, you're looking after your eyes, you're looking after your wrists, your hands, you know, all of that stuff. So suffice to say, probably doesn't matter to anybody else what the color is and how it matches. It's just to me because I'm being very picky with it and I've looked at it for hours. I guess that kind of comes with being an artist anyway. I don't know, it doesn't feel like I should call myself an artist. I call myself a creative. I just like creating stuff, I guess. So yeah, pretty much that is both of those designs done. And we can move on to the last designs of this set. So I'm starting off with a white base coat. This is the Jello Jello JJ-06, their normal like syrupy white base coat. It's very nice. It's like a perfect mixture of opacity and transparency as a syrup white base. And I'm going in with the Nailbayo flakes again and adding these all over the nail because I wanted to add some shimmer, some kind of dimension in the background for this design. I'm going in with both the gels, so the strawberry syrup gel from It's Lit and then also the lime syrup gel from DVOK, and I'm going to be painting on diamonds. So pretty much I'm going in with the needle liner brush from Cocoist again, my favorite brush for very detailed stuff. Definitely recommend if you are into nails and you like to do a lot of detailed designs. This brush, yes, it's pretty expensive for a brush, but it's definitely a good investment. I use it almost every set, and as long as you look after your brushes, you know, like making sure that you're cleaning them and wiping them down after every use, in terms of, you know, like not literally you paint one layer and then you wipe it. Like I mean as in one set or one session and then you clean it off ready for the next session, make sure that you're using your brush lid, then they last very well. That is the good thing about brushes. As long as you look after them, they will last very well. And I definitely recommend thinking about your use case and what sort of brushes you use the most in your designs, and then buying higher end, better quality brushes for those specific use cases. So for example, some of my favorite brands for brushes is Cocoist and Fiote. I really like these two. Although I have just picked up the Jello Jello I'm Pro lamp, you know, like their touch lamp, because I don't actually have a standing lamp and I want to be able to do that kind of, if anybody has seen Dreamy Little Nails, her cherry blossom petal design, where she makes the petals individually and then attaches them. You need to be hands-free when you attach them. I want to do a design that's similar to that with butterflies. That's kind of my idea, like wings. I can't do that until I have the like freehand touching lamp, right? So I did pick up some of the Jello Jello brushes as well. Hopefully they will arrive sometime soon, and I can also review and see if the Jello Jello brushes are good as well. I'm sure they're going to be amazing, as everything I have from Jello Jello is absolutely great quality. And they're a really good price point as well, like a great mix of good quality but also affordable. And they are the first Korean gel brand that I actually used, so I feel like they'll always have a special place in my heart as well. So coming back to the nail design, I did just, you know, do some layering. I think I painted a total of 3 layers for the kind of diamonds, you know, the syrup diamonds I was painting. Added some of these charms, and then I'm going in with the Izemi high top gel again to encapsulate them, because I saw this technique on Instagram where they were showing this gel and showing how they use it to encapsulate really slim, smaller charms that may still have some depth to them. So like if you do normal top coat, this may not look that smooth. So you kind of need to encapsulate it in. So they were using the Izemi high top gel for that. And I was like, that's what I need. That's what influenced me. That's what influenced me to pick up this gel, is that video. So essentially what I'm doing here to encapsulate it is I'm painting on a layer, a pretty decent amount of gel over the nail. And then I'm going in with my flat rounded brush to really start to refine everything together. The gel itself is very good at self-leveling, but I also wanted to help it along. And especially when you're going to encapsulate things and kind of add in an encapsulation layer, what I find helps is if you go with your brush and try to even out the sides as well, so it doesn't bulk on the sides. Also, you can turn the nail upside down and help you pull everything to the base. Also, one other thing is make sure that you're checking from all angles. So check like the side, what the side looks like, and whether you need to refine it on the actual apex part as well, because that sometimes cannot look smooth and that will throw your whole nail off in the end. So after I was happy with how the encapsulated layer looked, I did cure that for 90 seconds again, just because it was a thicker layer. There's definitely quite a good amount of gel on there. So I just wanted to make sure it cured all the way through, you know? And then I went in with more of the Jello Jello Zig Zag gel, just to add some of these small silver balls on top. This Zig Zag gel, as I've mentioned in previous videos many times before, is non-wipe, so there is no need to top coat after this. Although one thing I would say is I did top coat it anyway, just because sometimes these silver balls can lose their shine through daily use, you know, like hand washing if you're going to wear this sort of design on your nails. And that is these 2 nails done. So I did do the same design on the other hand, and this is what the completed set looks like. I think overall it came out pretty nice. I think the main point that I would want to improve on for next time is just the saturation of very sheer glass syrup gels. I think I'm definitely going to experiment with putting them on a more opaque white base to see if that brings out the colors more. But yeah, please let me know down below what your thoughts are on these nails, if you have any thoughts on anything that I've mentioned. As always, I really like to chat with people about nails, and I'm also being a lot more active on my Instagram and TikTok with shorts and community posts now on YouTube as well. Without further ado, that is everything for this video, so thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope that you have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.